With the NBA playoffs almost underway, another crazy high-scoring regular season in the books, the league desperately begging star players to play games, not sit out. It's been quite of a surprise from a bunch of known quality players having a massive reputation for load managing. This season, many of them not only been available, but more than qualified for the 65-game requirement, getting their names a spot on the All-NBA teams list. The mainstream media, dead silent every time these players have a monster game, can't make fun of them every time they play like absolute travesties, only end up kicking them harder when they're down. But these players, who many have mocked, including myself, will have to own up to it, appreciate their greatness, give them props. Come playoff time, we'll see what they're made of, but for right now, we gotta give them their flowers, starting with Anthony Davis of the LA Lakers. One of the front runners for Defensive Player of the Year, now 31 years old, had all the hate and nicknames thrown at him, getting called Mr. Glass in street clothes. Expectations and availability surpassed. 69 of 74 games played, the most contests he's played since the 2018 season. If Davis only misses one more game this season, that'll be the most he's ever played in his NBA career. Given the excruciating reactions, countless of injuries, nobody believed him when he said his goal was to play all 82 games. 70 also seemed like a stretch, especially looking at the last 3 seasons. Despite all the talent after the bubble, Davis even discussed being in trade rumors. Between January 31st of last year, Davis played 113 of a possible 120 contests, including playoffs. His toughness heavily questioned from time to time after beating Giannis twice this season without LeBron, and now playing the Greek Freak on the road, putting up around 25 and 13, 55% shooting on the year, a terror on D. We've seen the several games the Lakers play without AD on the floor. Their defense absolutely atrocious, not having a reliable backup 5, with Christian Wood basically a failed experiment, Jackson Hayes too fragile, having one of the worst b-ball IQs. Davis simply asked to do too much, similar to Bam Adebayo of Miami, asking to shut down the paint plus locking down guards on the perimeter. The only few times AD gets criticized when he matches up with big strong Jokic, and of course the winless memes against the rugged, bruising Domantas Sabonis. AD, being a natural power forward, doesn't have the body and strength to bang with true centers. The reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, having 2 massive wins over Minnesota and Milwaukee with stat lines of 27-25, 5-7 and 3, and a 34-point, 23-rebound, 4-block masterpiece. AD simply playing some of his best ball as a Laker, having his best year since 2020. Despite LeBron's greatness at 39, AD's been mostly the team's best player this season, despite not having the same athleticism and mobility like his New Orleans days. The soft floaters and the impeccable timely defense on many occasions in close games, perplexing his team to many wins they would have not gotten even a year ago. After the Lakers down big in Milwaukee, once AD came back, went on a 16-2 run, forcing Doc Rivers to activate those early 3-1 shivers, missed the sidelines blowingly jitters. When available, Davis, arguably the most underrated and unfairly disrespected superstar in the league, being called street close. Matter of fact, Davis probably played more games and minutes than most people's favorite superstar this season. It would be an absolute travesty if AD's not on All-NBA second team this season or not top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year. Unfortunately for the Lakers, this season's Western Conference absolutely no joke. Most teams being just as good, having better benches. They might not even get out the play-in for all we know, but other seasons, this Laker team, despite their role players having many injuries, would still be a top 4 seed. Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans, well-managed, well-behaved, was at the lowest point of his career after getting ousted terribly for his embarrassing performances, looking slow and sluggish, worse LeBron in the play-in tournament, on verge of tasting his first ever postseason. While generating the least amount of hype he's ever received, the media seemed like they're allergic to Zion's success, talking heads like Stephen A, sticking with the same old boring narratives instead of actually watching the games. Brian Windhorst reported, reported Zion lost 25 pounds since the in-season tournament, something he could keep working on. With all the criticisms, off-court distractions, nobody can deny Williamson's talent and how easy he can dominate the game, finally appearing to get his wake-up call from that in-season disaster, facing his first real adversity, looking to prove a point from nearly 5 years since getting drafted, more than 2 weeks left in the regular season, already surpassing the most games played in a single season, on verge becoming eligible for All-NBA, knowing his salary not fully guaranteed due to the prolonged absences with conditioning standards, New Orleans very close to cracking a top 4 seed in a loaded conference, Zion dominating with BI missing games, attacking and eating up Giannis down low, having all the physical attributes to live up to the #1 pick. Who knows how long his career gonna last, still lacking in many areas outside of using sheer strength and athleticism, playing like a superstar as of late, improved ball handling, decision making, and putting in effort on defense. We're finally seeing his full potential. Whether he will develop and add more tools to his game for longevity purposes will be totally up to him and how he feels in the coming years. Kyrie Irving of the Dallas Mavericks, one of the most exciting teams to watch, with 2 of the most creative offensive players in the game being on his best behavior, no off-court distractions, leaving Brooklyn the best decision for his career. He won't be eligible for the 65 game awards, but being available for the last 24 contests and counting after that incredible left-handed game winner on the Nuggets, played his 18 consecutive contests at the time, was his longest streak played since 2016. His lack of consistency over the years and constant distractions gave many massive headaches. Many questioned his motor and attitude. Kyrie could have played more games this season if clumsy Dwight Powell had the balance to not fall on him. Dallas gone 18-6 since Irving returning. The now 32-year-old continues to give us many insane highlight plays that makes everybody fall off their seat. Having a single season career high in dunks, catching alley-oops. We talking about a 6'2 guard who's been in the league since 2011, not known for his hops. Just 3 years ago, given his weird pattern of behavior, many wouldn't have been shocked if Kyrie announced his retirement rapidly at any point. Perhaps his time off in Brooklyn makes him feel more refreshed. If Dallas ends up going deep, signing Irving to that 3-year offer would be the best case possible. With the NBA not marketing the Mavs the same way like the Knicks or Lakers, Irving's presence super healthy to the team so far, not having talking head Stephen A starting off every show talking about what Kyrie did or what he said. Celtics and Nets fans still have every right to boo him for the headaches he's caused, but no one can deny he's been absolutely hooping this season, showing his most positive attitude since his Cleveland days. All Irving's been doing is killing the other team on the court, exactly what the Mavs needed. Many people just have a hard time with Kyrie's different opinions, but at the end of the day, Irving's fully free to express whatever he wants. The NBA and Mavs fan base just want him to be a championship caliber shot maker and high level star player, not some spiritual and political leader. Having Luka Doncic smiling, calling him Batman, the many perceptions of Kyrie Irving has changed over the last 8 months or so. Jaylen Green of the Houston Rockets, looking like a true rising star. Just 2 months ago, many wanted him gone from the team. A huge part of the Rockets' success, massive winning streak, appearing to be dead in the water after Şengün's injury. There's still hope for the franchise this season. Green shown flashes of a massive scorer, good at self-creating for himself at age 22, went from a realistic trade candidate to potential max player. Last 15 games, absolutely absurd. Hiring Ime Udoka, looking like the best coaching hire of last offseason, absolutely changing the culture and narrative of the team, especially his young stars playing like one of the best players in the West. The month of March, if the NBA ever had a March Madness award, Jaylen Green would be this season's March MVP. Many Rockets fans wanting to give up Green from Mikal Bridges can now fully take accountability for being wrong. Could Green just be one of the victims of the horrendous, no longer existent G League Ignite that seems to screw up every young promising guards? His mentality, looking to be more aggressive, demeanor and facial expressions, giving the team massive energy. Even if the Rockets don't end up getting the last play-in spot, fans should be absolutely ecstatic how far the team has already come. His excellence leading to wins. No other player has made as much drastic improvements the last several weeks in the league than Jaylen Green himself. Of course, it's important not to get ahead of ourselves, but if there was ever any new comparisons to the next Jokic and Murray duo combo, look no further than Şengün and Jaylen Green. Kristaps Porzingis of the Boston Celtics, now 28 years old, fit in flawlessly, fully okay being the third offensive option, taking just 13.5 shots a game, playing 30 minutes, numbers of 20 and 7. After many negativity surrounding his name, whether he can be a winning player, not having the best chemistry with Rick Carlisle and Luka, to demanding out of New York, the fact of the matter was, we'll never get a chance to see KP's full potential after the awful ACL injury, carrying the Knicks, especially the start of the 2017-18 season. Elite athleticism, having monster putbacks, flying everywhere on the floor, was once upon a time viewed right alongside Embiid and Giannis as franchise bigs to build around. At times, Boston might not even give him the ball enough. Being a mismatch for anybody under 7 foot, especially on the post, opens up the floor for his whole team. As long as he's healthy for the playoffs, posts his usual numbers, the Celtics should make it back to the finals at the very least. DAngelo Russell of the LA Lakers, ever since the trade rumors, the 28-year-old's been balling out, showing flashes of an all-star, but still very shaky, has his ups and downs. The 44.9 assist masterclass in a win over Milwaukee, one of his best performances we ever seen. His contract was developed entirely to be traded. A player option for next season, can lock into a multi-year deal, and says he's interested remaining a Laker for now, but come play-in and possibly first round time, if D'Lo underperforms in the most important stretch of the season, Lakers would absolutely move on from him again. Playing with a chip on his shoulder, the best he's looked since with the 2019 Nets. Safe to say, Lakers made a good choice not trading for DeJounte Murray. Collin Sexton of the Utah Jazz, embracing his role off the bench, averaging 18.5 points, his maturity and reputation changing many perspectives. After being labeled an empty stats, inefficient chuckster, to now playing his most efficient basketball in Salt Lake, Danny Ainge might trade him for multiple first-round picks. 25 years old, still on a losing team, haven't sniffed the playoffs yet. Being a shooting guard trapped in the point guard's body, Sexton's no doubt been Utah's second-best player all season, having excellent rim finishes, very explosive style of play, likely won't have much longevity, being super undersized, but in the couple years could absolutely flourish on a contender off the bench. Honorable mention goes to Brandon Miller, one of the least talked about young rising stars, overshadowed by Victor Chet and Jaime Jaquez, one of the bright sides for Charlotte as the number 2 pick. Jonathan Kuminga excelling for Golden State, giving the team a tiny bit of hope to whatever's left. And the low management Clippers of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, both haven't missed much games all season, already surpassing the 25-game mark, eligible for All-NBA, something we never thought we'd seen from Mr. Leonard himself.